Welcome to another episode of the Office Altering Hire and Empower with Molly McGrath podcast. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. If you're a first-time listener, hopefully you'll become a long-time listener. As always, I'm your show host, Molly McGrath, founder of Hiring and Empowering Solutions and creator of this revolutionary podcast. You can check us out at hiringandempowering.com. Hey, real quick, I want to give a big shout out to our premier sponsor of the Hire and Empower podcast, Legal Ease Marketing. You can check them out at legaleasemarketing.com. More of the right cases. Legal Ease was created by law and marketing professionals for law professionals, and they exist to help build solutions that give you time back. At Legal Ease, they put you first, and everything they've created is for you and yours alone. So go check out our phenomenal sponsor, legaleasemarketing.com. I'm so excited because so many of our participants, when they're coming in, they want to have more confidence. When they're in the office or they're in the conference room or on stage or giving webinars or what have you, they want to get promotions at work and really want to, as we talk about in Thought Leaders Academy. For those of you that don't know, Amanda and I are in the Thought Leaders Academy. We had Sarah Cannell come speak to us. And if you haven't listened to her mastermind, please go back and listen to her training from beginning of January. It was phenomenal. We've gotten so many great responses from that. But, one of the things of just really how to increase our energy, how to feel really confident. And I love, you are the master of this, of dressing for your future self and really stepping into that. I know you have so much of a personal journey in this and what you help your clients for national TV. I know what you've done and how to change your state through style and be your next level success, your future pulling. So, as I always tell my students, you're responsible for the energy you bring in the room. You're responsible for the energy you bring in the room. And I know you're going to give us a tremendous amount of content today for really figuring out what that means for your own personal branding.
Yes, I am so excited to be here. I love anytime I have the opportunity to share this because it is definitely like the next layer of style. It's like the next level. And I love that there's a community that's open to hearing that and experiencing that. So it's beautiful. So do you want me to just dive in?
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Amanda Wheel. I am the CEO of The Style Awakening and a style specialist. And we are going to have fun today. So I would love to know, and the chat, they can chat, right? Is there a chat that they can chat?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Good. I love that. Like, I love when you guys get all chatty and you share and you ask questions, because I really do want this to be interactive, because then I'm able to respond back and really like continue to teach. So my intention for today, for this masterclass, is for you to leave with really a clear understanding of how your style is playing a role in your current life and what you're experiencing, and how you can actually use your style as a tool to create the life of your dreams. Because the reality is you have those dreams because they're already in existence. And so it's up to you to then live your life already knowing that they're coming true, and likely in a better way than you can even imagine. And really a massive part of that, or dare I say, in my opinion, the most important part of realizing those dreams is based on how you show up day to day. So it's that consistency, how you show up mentally, how you show up emotionally, and how you show up physically. So what are your daily thoughts, your words, what's happening with your energy, and in the physical, are you actually showing up as the person who already has what you want? So that's what we're really going to dive in today about, and really for you to be that next level of you, to really call it forth. So I would love to know in the chat, are you dressing as the CEO? the CEO of your life, the CEO of your business? Or are you waiting for it to happen before you start dressing the part? So how many of you feel like your style represents the true you, like your inner essence, who you truly are? And how many of you feel like it actually represents what you're stepping into next? Or how many of you have had the same style for the past 10 years? I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame. None of this is to shame you by any means. It's just really, it's for the awareness. It's for you to start to get really curious and start to become aware and start to realize like, oh, there's a whole added layer of this energy game and of this attraction game. So, here's the deal. 89% of what we learn and what others learn is visual. So I'm going to say that again. 89% of what we learn and what others learn is visual. So you have about 3 to 7 seconds when you meet someone to either connect or disconnect. And that really has to do with how you show up. And that's your appearance and also your overall confidence. So whether you think it's important or not, your style does matter. And it's not about, when I say style, it's not about having the latest designer handbag or shoes or sport coat or only buying designer pieces. It's about knowing your true self, the real you, your soul, and really understanding how to express the real you through your clothes. So it's really an overall vibe and confidence and connection. So your inner world and your outer world get to match to really create authenticity in how you show up. And this is what also creates confidence, is that authenticity. And confidence is really the key to everything. And I always say, like, you don't necessarily need another skill. You need the confidence in yourself that what you desire is achievable, because you'll figure out the rest of it. As long as you believe in yourself and you're showing up with confidence, you'll always figure out the rest of it. The steps will always appear. And while I share those stats about the impression that you're making on others, even more important than that is the impression that you're making on yourself. So it's not just about your clothes. It's really about how you feel wearing them. So it's an overall energy, and your clothing and your style and the intention in which you show up actually elevates your soul. And the greater you elevate your soul, the more magnetic you become for the people and the opportunities you wish to attract. So let me know if this is making sense so far. Is it landing? I feel like,
yeah, they won't chat most often. They're a very quiet group, but so there's a couple of people on the East Coast. It's 5:00 East Coast, and we talked about this in open coaching hours and my private calls as well, and through the intake. So there's some people here who are just answering the phones or just greeting clients, but they want a $20,000 a year raise. They want to be, I'm with you, yes. They want a raise. They want to become the law firm administrator. They want to become the COO of the law firm and grow into their future self. But they're not dressing the part. There are attorneys or entrepreneurs or CEOs here that are afraid to get on video, or maybe have head trash about, well, I don't want to dress all fancy, or I don't want to. They try to downplay it with their clients because they don't want them to think, well, if I'm dressed all sharp and things of that nature, then the clients will think, oh, this is why you're so expensive. There's a lot of head stories around it, but they don't realize that they're bringing that confidence in the room and they're not showing up as the expert. Or many attorneys, honestly, that I have seen them walk into a conference room or witness them on stage coming, and they're really, truly dressed all in black, or not really finding, I love this conversation because 89%, did I hear that right, is
Visual.
visual.
And I always say, like, something I work really hard on is not to judge other people because I don't want them judging me. And I'm really working on not judging myself. Yet we are also human beings, and your mind makes a judgment even subconsciously based on how someone's dressed and how they're showing up. And it's like using the dress for that confidence. It's interesting what you were saying too about not wanting to dress a certain way. Yet the reality is, like, when you're elevated and you're dressing a certain way, you actually attract in a higher caliber of client.
Yes.
It's so interesting. I find this happens quite a bit too when people raise their rates. Like, there's a fear of like, oh no, what if no one will pay? And yet, honestly, anytime I have or anytime my clients have, they attract in a higher quality client that, of course, can pay that. So it's just like continuing to raise your vibe. And if you think about it, everything is made up of energy, right? Everything is made up of energy. So if you're actually putting on the things that make you feel really good, you're naturally going to elevate your vibe.
Or if you're putting on things that you don't really put any thought into, and you're just getting dressed in the morning versus future pulling and putting on what your Sunday best, if you will, you're subconsciously, or you're bringing that energy in there of, I'm not even paying attention to the presentation. So the presentation of you subconsciously could be communicating to the client that you don't put any care into the presentation of their work.
Exactly. Yeah, it's fascinating because I see this more so with women, also with men too, that they will just like deprioritize their style or how they feel and look because they feel like, oh, it's not important. There's other things on their to-do list. And it, like what I always discover, it's like they don't feel really worthy of investing the time and the money into themselves if they don't feel like it's directly impacting their business. So for instance, like they'll justify spending, thousands of dollars on another course, or like hiring someone to handle something, like handle their social media or like learn a new system because they think that's what's going to move them forward in their business and life. And those things, of course, are totally important. I'm not saying they're not important. Yet I feel like what they're missing is the focus on who they're being in the business and how they show up every day and the message that they're sending to the universe and the subconscious based on how they're dressed. Because we're always teaching people how to treat us based on how we treat ourselves. So when you're putting like intention in how you're showing up and you care about how you're showing up, then other people are going to also care about you and like respect you as well and see you as a leader. Like if you're leading your life in all areas, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're leading your life in all areas and you're really showing up as the best you in all areas, then other people are going to see that in you too. And they're going to want to promote you and they're going to want to hire you because they realize the care that you put into everything that you do. So it's really like a beautiful.
I worked for an attorney once, and he put no regard into dressing. In fact, he was colorblind, and really never put any attention to it. And then learning, as you're teaching us today, he finally made the decision to hire a personal stylist, just like you, someone coming to the office. So I don't have any time to dress. I don't know how to dress. It's absolutely overwhelming to me. And brought in a tailor who custom made shirts, suits, everything for him, brought in the shoes, and he quadrupled his practice in 6 months of that. And then also as a team bonus, what he did is gave them a style budget and paid it forward right down to just the receptionist.
Honestly, the receptionist is like the most important person. That's the first point of contact that anyone has with the firm. So like that's the direct representation, right? So like your energy gets to be super clean. You get to be showing up feeling really confident because that's like people's first representation of the firm. It's like, it's so important.
Yes.
Important. Yeah. And I always say too that like understanding your soul and your inner essence and like who you really are well enough to understand then how you want to dress is the deepest form of self-love and self-acceptance. Because you really
Confidence.
yeah, because and you stop trying to be someone else. You stop trying to fit in. You allow yourself to just be the true you, and that's the magic that I feel like can multiply your business, can get you the promotion, can attract in the relationships that you desire, because you're using your clothing as a physical vision board, and you're declaring to the universe like this is how you choose to show up and how you choose to be treated. And, asking yourself, okay, do I feel good in my clothes? Do I feel good when I look in the mirror? And it's really about valuing yourself enough to actually show up and be seen is how I see it. And to truly express yourself and your inner essence through your clothes, because it really does all matter. It's like, it's a direct representation of your worth and how you see yourself.
Mm.
Yeah. And I feel like this might be a helpful way this really helped me thinking about it too. I'm sure many of you listening have heard of Tony Robbins, and you've heard about him. He talks about changing your state. And this is really the benefit being that you have the power to shift your energy level when you change your state. So if you're feeling blah, turn on some music and dance around, or jump on a rebounder, like physically shift your state to then shift your mental and your emotional state into a place where you want it to be. And I think for most of us, that's like joy and motivation and happiness, and that sense of ease and grace is where we want our mind to be during the day. And why it works is because you're shaking up the routine. So if you're like sitting behind your desk and you're feeling kind of blah, then you turn on some music and you start dancing, you're shaking up the energy, you're shaking up the routine. Even if you go for a quick walk around the block, you're changing the energy. And you're sending a signal to your brain that gets you out of the repetition. So it's like a pattern interrupt. And the cool thing is you can do the exact same thing with your style. So being intentional with your style also has the power to shift your state. And I'm going to take you guys through some questions in a little bit to ask yourself to help you start to be more intentional. And it's, essentially when you are able to imagine your future self and the life that you're creating, then you add the next layer to it of getting clear on what you're actually wearing when that comes to fruition, or how you need to dress for it to come to fruition. And that also shifts your energy to be into alignment. And so then when you go, like if I know that, gosh, you know what, as the CEO of my business, I get to wear really fun hot pink blazers, lots of fun jewelry. Then when I go and actually put that on, it changes my state, because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm the CEO of my business. Let's go make some sales calls, right? It shifts you because there's energy in the clothes, and there's energy in the visualization that's being realized. So this is how your style becomes the physical vision board of what you're creating.
I love that. We've been talking about intentional planning in your time, and we talk about your construction days. You're wearing jeans and t-shirt, no makeup. You're in the war room. You're reviewing files. You're prepping for getting on that stage. And then your money days. So client service coordinators, paralegals, listen up. When you are doing follow-up calls after your webinars or workshops, you want to dress in your money suits. You want your money attire. And we talk about that all the time. It might not be a suit for you. If you're in South Florida, it might be the most beautiful, that you feel wonderful in Hawaiian shirt and pressed, pants or whatever they are, and polished shoes. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a pink blazer for you or Gucci dress or what have you. And then we talk about your growth days. So we talk about showing up. Your attire is absolutely different. So I love that you use sales calls and follow-up calls and things of that nature, because that's exactly it. You're going to dress the part when you're on the phone, when you're making the calls, when you're in the back of the workshop. You're dressed just like you're on this stage.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I love that too, because there's absolutely days where I'm in my really cute little sweatsuit too. I'm not always all done up, hair curled, all the jewels, all that. Yet at the end of the day, I am also so clear in who I am that I can have on that really cute sweatsuit and still feel really confident because that still feels like me. I'm not wearing the sweatsuit to hide or to, because I feel blah. I'm like, no, I actually really want to wear my cute little sweatsuit today. Right. And so it's still being intentional, even on those off days where you're not super glam or whatever. You're still intentional that what you're putting on still feels really good, even if it's really cute pair of jeans and a t-shirt.
I love that.
Yeah. So, okay. So you want to dive into like how to enhance your style from a
and I'll take some notes while you talk. So
okay, perfect. So in order to really enhance your style from a soul space and from this intentional space, it all starts with a style vision. So, most people have a vision for their career, for their family, for their relationships. Yet, how many people actually create a vision for their style? Not a lot of people, because it's just not something that we really talk about. Yet, the point of having a vision is because it then creates a guide for how you want to show up each day. And it creates a framework for adding pieces to your closet or also purging pieces from your closet. So when you have a vision of who you are, where you're going, the life that you're creating, and you get clear on like what that style looks like for you too, then that is your style vision. And there's a pretty deep process that I usually take my one-on-one clients through to get them really clear in their authentic style. Yet I'm going to share a few things with all of you today to get you started because it's really important. So it starts with clarity and awareness. So some questions that you can ask yourself, and I'll share these with you. And then I invite you to journal on these a little bit later and like allow yourself to go there, take some space to visualize and get clear. So, okay, it's interesting because we don't always just start with like the style questions. I want you to first ask yourself, what's my number one goal this quarter? What's my number one goal? Why is it important to me? What does it mean for my life, the life of my family, my friends, my loved ones? Like, what is that core goal that you're working towards? And really like feel that. Like you get to sit with this for a little while and really feel it. And then you get to start asking yourself and visualizing, okay, as I'm hitting that goal, like you imagine that you wake up tomorrow and the goal has been achieved, how do you feel about yourself? What emotions do you elicit from others? Like really go there and like feel into that it has actually happened. And imagine that you are about to go out and celebrate the goal coming to fruition and ask yourself, well, what are you wearing? Like, what are you wearing to go celebrate that? What are you wearing as that goal is coming to fruition? This is where you really get to just like close your eyes and have fun visualizing and just trust that the right outfit's going to come to you. It might come as like colors. It might come as a specific silhouette. It might come as prints. Just like let yourself really go there and feel into it. And so that's step one. And then just journal on what you've experienced, what you saw. And then the next thing to ask yourself is, are there any specific style icons or celebrities or athletes or characters in TV shows or even other friends whose style you really admire? And when you start to get clear on those, then really ask yourself, okay, what are some of the similarities in their styles? So everyone that you love, do they all wear these really cool shoes? Or do they all play with color blocking? Do they all wear prints? Do they all wear really fun blazers? Because you start to get to understand like, oh, I see why I'm really drawn to all of these styles because they have XYZ in common. And then that's when you start to realize, oh, so that's something that I really want to incorporate into my wardrobe. I want that to be my power piece. And so you start to get clear on the key pieces that are standing out to you. So this is where you get to like dive in and do some journaling. And then also now just allow yourself to be more aware of what people are wearing when you're out and about, when you're watching TV. Just start to notice if there's certain things that are grabbing you, that you're gravitating towards. Because I think a lot of times we're just on autopilot. If you're not really thinking about it, if you haven't really equated the importance of style and it just doesn't feel that important, of course, you're not really noticing what other people are wearing. Yet after this, you're gonna turn that on So you will start to be more receptive and notice what other people are wearing and what you like, and just start keeping notes, or start a Pinterest board, or start, like, if you're old school and you read magazines, start tearing out pages from magazines and create your like style vision board. And that's how you start to curate your next level style. So it's just like creating like an actual vision board. And I want you to remember too that people buy, people decide, people promote, people do all the things based on emotion. So you get to ask yourself, what emotion do you elicit from others, and what emotion do you want to elicit from others? And then as you're getting dressed, you get to start asking yourself, okay, what I'm putting on right now, does that align with my higher self? Does it align with where I'm going? Am I eliciting the emotion that I really want to elicit from people? Am I dressing as the person getting the raise, the promotion? And same as you're purging your closet. This is the easy framework. Like, this is the next layer, like the next level framework. It's not just about, do things have holes in them? Are they worn? It's like the next level. Something might be in beautiful condition, yet every time you put it on, it doesn't make you feel like you're stepping into the next version as the person that has what it is you truly want. Then you get to let that go, because it's not an energetic match for you. Just had that happen to me yesterday. I had on a blouse, perfectly fine, beautiful. At the end of the day, I took it off and I was like, and this is getting donated, because it just doesn't, it's not me anymore. And so energetically, there's no point in holding on to those things, because they're not elevating you. They're actually keeping you stuck and stagnant. So it's really fascinating. So I'm curious if, and you guys can always, if you're watching this later or whatever, if you're starting to see maybe like a new style vision for yourself, and like if stuff is coming up for you around it, because I know it's just like a really different way to look at style. And I'm excited, Molly, to like hone in your style vision, right? And like get really clear on what that next level is for you too. I think it's going to be a fun process.
I have someone who just actually emailed me. They're listening on the audio. They're driving home from work, and they said, what if you have your style, and maybe you're going to get to this when you're done, but what if you have your style vision, but your money doesn't match supporting that?
Got it. That's a great question. That's a really great question. So that's where I say, start with one piece. Start with one piece. So in your style vision, is there one thing that really feels like a power piece to you? Is it a beautiful blouse? Is it a beautiful blazer? Like, get really clear on what's that one thing. Because this isn't like you have to go and revamp your whole style overnight. This isn't that at all. There might be ways where you even have pieces in your closet that you just need to mix and match them a little bit differently. Totally an option there too. But get clear on like, what's that one piece? And it doesn't mean that you have to go out to a Nordstrom or Bloomingdale's or somewhere and buy it. You can even go to, you can even look on like great sites like Poshmark or The Real or Vestaire, like a lot of those resale sites where you can find beautiful things at really great price points that are great quality. You can honestly get some cute things at Target too and Walmart. Like there's really like things that you can buy all over. But just start with one thing for now. One thing. And allow that.
Yeah, and I'd say notice your energy when you start with that one thing, or maybe even invest in something that makes you, I'm a little nervous to spend this, but I absolutely love it, and buying it and wearing it and noticing your energy and wearing it like your next $1 million business or your $10,000 or $20,000 raise.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And trusting that if it is something that you truly love, then the money will show up. And it's like and I am going to touch on this a little bit later too, but it's like as I was saying earlier, instead of dressing after the fact, you dress before the fact. So you dress as if that raise is coming. You dress as if the money is in your bank. And I'm not saying going out and spending like thousands of dollars and going into debt. Yet, like you were saying, like if there's something where you're like, okay, I really love that. Oh, it's a little more than I would spend. Yet I know it feels really good. Then yes, do it, because it is calling you to step into the next level and trusting that the money will come to you. So that's a really great question.
Great.
I thought it would be fun to talk about color and power colors.
Great.
You guys want to go there and like the energetics of color. And it's like a deeper training I'm going to go into on a challenge I'm doing later in March. Yet today I want to cover the highlights because there's always a lot of ahas when people look at color in this way. So there is definitely a certain power color that you can wear to enhance your confidence and really make your soul happy. And I'm not just talking about like the color for your skin tone or for your hair. I'm talking about the color for your soul. This is like next level. And this power color, what it does is it taps into your energy system and it just turns it up a notch. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with chakras. It's become a little bit more mainstream. If you're not, a chakra is an energy center within your body. It's like they run essentially along your spine. And they're like little wheels of energy. They're just like running and they allow energy to flow freely through you because you want it like flowing in, flowing out, flowing in, flowing out. And if any of them get a little bit congested, like the energy is just having trouble going through it can lead to physical, mental, or even emotional ailments. Think of it as like you're out of alignment. So just like you would go to a chiropractor, this is an energetic tune-up. So for instance, if your solar plexus chakra, which is around your stomach, if that is congested, it can lead to digestion issues. And so each of the chakras are actually represented by a different color. And so the reason that I'm sharing this with you is for you to start understanding how to use color to really elevate yourself and also to start to learn why you crave specific colors. And so your power color is represented by the chakra that needs the most support because once the energy is flowing freely through you again, you're unstoppable. And this might change daily depending on what's happening in your life. And I will share with you guys, don't worry, I'm going to share a fun, if you're like, I have no idea what my power color is, I'll share with you after I go through the colors, a link where you can actually take a quiz and it will tell you what your power color is right now. So I'll take you through the colors real quick though, because this will help you start to understand, oh yeah, I have been craving red lately. Okay, now I understand why. So the first chakra, your root chakra, is represented by the color red. And this is found at the base of your spine. And this one really represents grounding energy. So it's your connection to Mother Earth and survival. And so that also means like security. So money and being stable is your root chakra. And so red is the color for this. And it's very much a power color. And when you are grounded, that's when everything just flows through you with ease. You feel stable, you feel safe, you feel secure. And also you can be counted on to get the job done, like you're solid. So this is a great color to wear if maybe you are feeling a little bit financially insecure or a little bit ungrounded, throw on some red. Or if you're working on like a big project or a task, it's a great color to wear. And I'm not saying like you have to have head to toe red. If you're like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. It could even be like red underwear or put a red crystal in your pocket or just have a little bit of red somewhere. And if you find that lately you've been craving that color, and it might also be the food that you're eating, right? It doesn't just have to be the clothes, but like if you're craving the color red, then ask yourself where you're not feeling safe and grounded. So is it money? Is it security? Is it stability? Just get clear on that. And something else you can do along with wearing red to really help strengthen that chakra is to go walk barefoot in nature, because that's what allows you to really connect back to earth, knowing that you will be supported. So that's the first one. So then we move into the second chakra, which is sacral. And this one is located just below your belly button. And this is really your creative center and where you birth all of your ideas. So it represents pleasure and abundance, and it really encompasses all of your sexual organs. So think of it that way, like you're birthing creativity, you're birthing life. And so orange is the color for this one. And so it's a great color to wear when you're brainstorming on a new idea or a project, or you're doing something that requires creativity, like a PowerPoint presentation or just something different. And so if you're craving orange, you can ask yourself maybe where you're not allowing your creativity to come out and play. It's really good. So the next one, yellow, this is actually the solar plexus. And this chakra for most of us has been working in overdrive lately, just with everything going on in the world. And this one's found just above your belly button. And this is your inner compass. It's your power. It's where you create beliefs about yourself. So it's the chakra of your subconscious mind. So for instance, the phrase, I am confident, and like actually feeling confident, it stems from your solar plexus. And just with everything going on in the world and all the need to be right and the blame that has been happening for the past couple of years, that solar plexus is really taking a hit, and it can cause you to doubt yourself. So yellow is the color to wear if you're doubting your worthiness, or maybe you're struggling to accomplish tasks, or if you're working on a project that you can't just seem to like focus on finishing, then throw on some yellow. And if you're craving it, really ask yourself why you're not feeling worthy. And it's interesting because this is a color that most people say, I can't wear yellow. And I promise that everyone can wear every color. You just need to find the right shade of that color. And again, it doesn't have to be like a bright yellow shirt. Maybe it's something that has a little bit of yellow in it. So the next chakra is your heart chakra. And this one obviously is right in your chest. And it's all about love. So self-love, giving love to others. And the more love that we show ourselves, the greater this radiates out to others. So green represents your heart chakra. And so it's a power color to wear if you owe yourself some forgiveness, or maybe you owe a coworker some forgiveness. I don't know, maybe you made a mistake on a project. We're all human. You lost a deal. Maybe your coworker took credit for something that you actually did. Like green will really allow you to forgive and move forward so that you can raise your vibe back up to super positive. Because again, this is all about you being energetically in that really aligned, positive state to attract in what you deserve and what you want. So if you're craving green or even pink, because this chakra is so important, it has two colors tied to it, then you likely owe yourself some serious self-care. So I would suggest taking a bath, maybe taking a long walk, set aside an hour to read your favorite book, and also really think about how you're treating others, and just ask yourself if you're leading with love. So I'm so curious if any of you are like craving these colors. Usually there's like a lot of ahas, like, oh my gosh, that's why I'm craving green. So the next one is your throat chakra. And this is a really good color for all of you. It's about speaking your truth and being heard. And it's located obviously in your throat, right between your collarbones. And the thing to ask yourself is, are you fully sharing yourself and your beliefs? Or is there something that's holding you back? And so light blue and turquoise are the colors that represent this chakra, and they will assist you in eloquently communicating. So a lot of times you see speakers wearing blue on stage, and whether they're doing it on purpose or whether they're doing it subconsciously, it's really to help with their communication, because communication is truly the key to relationship with others and even the relationship that we have with ourselves. So it's the perfect color to wear if you're giving a speech or a presentation, or you just want to share in a meeting. And if physically daunting, or if speaking seems daunting, then just spend some time journaling your truth, because it still allows you to express yourself and share your beliefs. So the next one we're going to talk about is your third eye. And this is found right between your eyebrows, and it aligns with the color indigo, which is like a navy or a darker blue. And this chakra represents your intuition and also your ability to find all of the answers within. So it's interesting, your sixth and your seventh chakras are more spiritual in nature than the lower chakras. So these call forth more self-awareness and wisdom. So indigo, navy, dark blue is a great color to wear if you have a major decision to make. And whether it's like to hire an employee, to take a different job, or if you're like brainstorming on something, a strategy, any instance where you really need to listen to your intuition. And if you find yourself wearing a lot of indigo or navy, maybe start asking yourself why you're not trusting your inner guidance. What are you scared that you might uncover? And then the last chakra that we're going to talk about is your crown. And this is really your connection to the divine, God, goddess, source, or, however you choose to call a higher power. And it's really the wisdom that we are not alone and that the universe is always working in our favor. So should you need any guidance, then activating your crown chakra really opens you up to divine inspiration. So the color that's representative of this is purple, violet purple. And that's a great color to wear if there's a pitch or a meeting where you're going to be bringing fresh ideas, others are going to be bringing fresh ideas, because it really opens you up to exploring a new way of thinking or operating. And so along with wearing purple, meditation is a really powerful practice to strengthen your seventh chakra, because it quiets your active mind so that you're open to really hearing those divine messages. So this is really like looking at color in such a different way than the way that we're trained. And if you're curious, like what your power color is right now, I'll drop the link in the chat for you guys to take the quiz. Don't do it now, but you can take it. You can do it after we're done. And it'll share like, hey, you know what? Start wearing this color. It's an opportunity for you to put that in rotation, start wearing it, and see how you feel, and see if you feel any differently, right? See if new opportunities start coming to you, and just start to notice. It's like another layer of conscious style, and really using your style to elevate yourself. So let me grab that and drop it in the chat. And I'm curious, Molly, if any of those colors.
Yeah. As you were talking, it's interesting how many business owners will put so much thought and effort into the colors of their logo, colors of their branding, of their website, whatever it might be. And I don't think they give it this much conscious effort. They'll say, okay, blue, I hear over and over and over again. When you look at the colors on a marketing scheme, it's really interesting, because they're like, what converts, what communicates money, what communicates power, what communicates closing or warmth or what have you. But when you're going through this, I'm even thinking about it. If you have this framework that you've given us today, which I've never heard, and it makes so much sense, but even just picking one piece for people that say budget is a concern, or I've always dressed conservative, I've always dressed in black when I put on color. To your point, yellow doesn't look good on me. And the resistance to color a lot of times is maybe really taking a look at where you want to amplify and elevate your energy, and possibly, I'm just thinking out loud, where you're possibly hiding out, or you're not stepping into your truth or your power and really having fun and playing with this. So budget is a concern, number one, that picking one piece, maybe it is for many people in this group, it is really truly for them being where they're not speaking their truth. They're not feeling heard, especially as team members. I'm just trying to teach them to really speak up and become a CEO in their own right within their small business, what have you, and get more opportunity, more autonomy, and things of that nature. So I can even just say, that's my goal. That's my intention. That's what I manifest. And so really playing with that and picking a color, or if you've always shied away from color, maybe just trying it on and having that intentionality. I want to, because my color is orange. I always gravitate orange in my home. And this can go also with really decorating your office or even just your workspace and playing with it. Because when you see orange, I have to record a podcast. I have to work on this PowerPoint, and I'm resisting it and putting that intentionality there. I really can see how it can really summon your future self.
Yeah, I love that. And it's really interesting what you were saying initially, right? Because so many people are focused on that, like the marketing way of looking at color, and like, how do other people view it? And is that going to close deals? And And it's like, well, what if you just focus on the color that you need, that makes you feel good, and trust that then when you feel good and you're elevating in the highest, you don't need any like marketing ploys to close someone. Like that's the next level of being magnetic for what you truly want, because you are just showing up truly as you, with so much light and like clean energy that people can't help but being attracted to you. They can't help but promote you. They can't help but want to work with you because you are just so clean and clear. You're like that clean and clear vessel. And so that's why I love looking at color from this perspective too, because it's like energetically what's going to make you feel the highest vibe.
Something else you said, I just want to touch on really quickly too. Thank you for the link for the free quiz for those that are listening. I'm going to put it in the chat as well and in the show notes, but your amandawheelstyle.com/quiz. One thing you said, I really want to highlight. I see this so often on people on social media, people that you work with, seeing other attorneys. It's fascinating how many entrepreneurs and attorneys are following when you say find someone, a colleague that you really admire, that you immediately think they're successful by seeing their style and thinking, I want that. I want to be that. Wow, they're really successful. And I see it so often because I've seen this shift with attorneys or entrepreneurs who dressed, rather bland, for a lack of a better term. They didn't put a lot of intentionality and thought in it. They were not dressing for their future self. And then I see like this blooming occur online where they're being more visible and from head to toe. I'm not saying Chanel in $10,000 suits. I'm saying that their personality is shining, almost like you're not even really looking at per se, just their whole energy has changed. And I see people, and then they're starting to get more visible and they're getting a tremendous amount of feedback and they're getting more and more and more visible. And no mistake, I see their business grow like wildfire almost. And it's so fascinating to see people comment on it. And I'm like, that could be you. It really truly starts with, like you say, your visible appearance.
Yeah. And it starts within, right? It's like getting clear on who you really are and how you want to show up and the life that you want to create. And then putting your blinders on, not comparing yourself to other people, not judging yourself, and just being like, no, this is who I am. I went through it myself a year ago, like taking myself through this. Like I became my own client again and was like, all right, it's time for a massive style reset, rehaul. And I did. And I'm experiencing the same thing that my clients experience too, where it's just like, there's just so much clarity. You kind of stop caring. Like you stop caring about showing up a certain way. And I don't mean like you stop caring, like, yes, you're so clear in who you are and you're putting the intention into how you're showing up that you stop caring about showing up a certain way and you stop caring about what people think. Because you're just like, well, this is me and I'm awesome. And what I do is awesome. And I know I can make a difference in the world. So cool. And people just, there's like no tension. People just feel it. And they're like, I'll have whatever she's having. It's really cool. Yeah. Because you're right. You're showing up differently. You're just visible.
Amanda, this was so incredibly helpful going through the colors.
What? Okay. Good. I'm always like, is it too woo? Is it too much? But I find that people are always like, oh my gosh, when I do it. So.
Well, you can't argue with that and pay attention to the people that you're, like you said, the people that you really gravitate towards and you are thinking, I want what she has. And a lot of times it's not necessarily the clothing per se, but for me, it's like, I want that confidence. I want that clarity. Yeah. And like you said, it starts from within.
Yep.
Yeah. And changing your state. And that's the easiest way to change your state. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting. And I love that you said that too, because it's not like I need to look exactly like that person. Like I have a lot of people say to me like, well, what if I don't like your style and I don't want to dress like you? I'm like, well, that's great. I don't want you to dress like me. I don't expect you to like my style. It's not about that. It's about getting clear on your authentic style because everyone's authentic style is different. We're all completely unique. So of course our style is going to be different. And of course, how you show up and what makes you feel confident is going to be completely different than what makes me feel confident. And so I think that's the beauty of this type of style work is that it's not about like, okay, I'm going to dress everyone the same and you guys are all going to wear this, and that's your style. It's like, no. What is your style? Like what I'm not going to tell you what it is. We're going to pull it out of you. It's like that. It's like that approach. So
it's so fascinating because I see so many people put time, attention, and detail into, like I said, their website or the font of, their logo. And we don't give ourselves enough credit and grace. And it really does start with finding your confidence color and finding your unique style that helps you to magnetize empowerment and confidence and success. All the things that 115 people in this group that have told me they wanted.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It really is who you be. And at the end of the day, you don't even necessarily need the website or all the things. Or like when I first launched my business, I didn't have all that stuff. It wasn't until like later, after I was already making money, that I focused on all that stuff. So it's I think people get to shift their mindset around it. That again, it's not just like, oh yeah, I'll show up as that person once I get the job or once I get the date or once I get the promotion. It's like, no, I get to realize that I'm showing up as that person now before I have the clients, before I have the raise, before I have the job I want, because you're telling the universe that you're capable of it and you believe that it's happening. And it's like shifting your energy into knowing and trusting that what you desire also desires you.
Say that again.
So shifting your energy into knowing that what you desire also desires you.
Mm.
And use your style as the physical vision board to attract it in.
I love that.
Yeah. It's not the wait and see. It's not the wait and see. Like I have so many people say that, like, oh, well, I'll hire you. I'll work with you once I get XYZ. They start to play the when game. And I always call them on it. I'm like, oh, you're playing the if then game. I don't play the if then game. I play the show up and then it'll happen.
And maybe if you're playing the if when game, that's why you're attracting clients that are playing the if when game. That's why I need to think about it. So often when I look at weekly metrics and reporting, how many people, they're like, well, they need to think about it and we're going to follow up with them. And I love that you just use those precise words.
You can always, this is why I love sales and enrollment, because whatever you are hearing from potential clients, you're doing it somewhere else in your life. It's the perfect mirror. So if people are saying like, yeah, I don't have the money right now, I don't have the money, then ask yourself, where am I using that excuse? And clean it up, because then you won't get those anymore. Sometimes it's also like a worthiness if you don't feel you're worthy of them investing in you. Or if people are like, yeah, it's just not that important right now, like really ask yourself, hey, where is there something I'm saying is not important? It's the most, I love sales because of that, because, well, number one, I truly think it's a gift to enroll someone in their vision and like their life. And it also really shows you where you're at in your life. So it's really cool. It's a really fun game.
Oh my goodness. Amanda, tell our listeners how they can work with you and get to know more about this.
Yeah. There's lots of different ways. There's, obviously there's this deeper work that I talk about. There's things like VIP days to purge your closet, to shop together, to get clear on your style vision. And then there's like longer term full style awakening, where it's really about the whole journey with me of like getting clear on your style, all the way to purging, to shopping, to creating outfits, all the while having this deeper, I don't want to call it coaching, but like this deeper style coaching with me to get really clear on making the life changes. Because it's like the style for me is really just a tool to help you move forward in your life. And then there's also an amazing style and soul retreat coming up in Paris in June for anyone that wants to travel in June and shop with me in Paris. There's also some spots there too left. So anyone can go to my website, Amanda Wheel Style. Amanda Wheel is WEIL style.com. You'll see my blog. You'll see how to get in touch with me. You'll see more information on Paris. You'll see all the different ways you can work with me, or my Instagram is the same, Amanda Wheel Style. Lots of ways to connect with me. There's plenty of ways to find me.
Facebook, we'll put all the links for all of you in addition to the quiz. I'll put all of my notes in the show notes as well for everything that I captured today. Amanda, wow, this was absolutely eye-opening. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I love to just share this. And so any opportunity I have, I'm so grateful for.
Yes, thank you. I'm seeing the chat. Thank you. Amazing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, lots of comments. It's so funny. People will text me private. I don't know if they don't have it on host and everyone. So lots. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
Thank you for being our guest today. I can't wait to share this with the world. We're going to have this in the back end of the academy as the recording as well. And I will shoot this out to everyone. And oh my goodness, if nothing else, 89% of your clients' buying decisions are visual. And I love that you said people decide, buy, and promote from a place of emotion.
It's all emotion. They're buying based on the emotion that you're eliciting. If they can trust you, if they like you, if they believe you, if they think that you can help them. And that is really coming from your energy and your way of being and how you show up. So like people can see through the words. They can see through the words that you're saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think words I had read in a recent study is 70% or 7%.
Exactly. It's your aura.
Yes. All right, legal leaders, take the quiz, get on Amanda's blog, get connected with her. I'll have all the ways on her social channels, her website, her blog for you to stay connected with her. And thank you for this breakdown on finding your confidence color in abundance.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's a good stopping point for us today. We've reached the end of yet another episode of the Hire and Empower with Molly McGrath podcast, where dream teams of intrapreneurs and entrepreneurs world really do come true. Listen, whether you're a business owner, employee, executive, maybe a hiring manager, we wholly understand. Hiring, onboarding, and leadership is absolutely expensive, exhausting, overwhelming, time and energy consuming for the already taxed professional. Well, we have your back on all fronts. For 25 plus years, we have transformed over 4,000 law firm teams into becoming the most efficient, resourceful, and profitable aspect of your business. Check out our Smart Hire solution, our employee leadership program, or our 66-day law firm turnaround at hiringandempowering.com. And listen, if you enjoyed this episode, click below, subscribe, make sure that we get in your inbox, share it with your friends, and of course, a shout out, as always, to our premier sponsors at Legal Ease Marketing. Check out legaleasemarketing.com. Legal Ease was created by law and marketing professionals for law professionals. They exist to help build solutions that give you time. At Legal Ease, they put you first as a law firm owner. Everything they've created from a place of automation, technology, and marketing was created for you and is yours and yours alone. All right, that's a wrap. Again, check us out, subscribe, share with your friends. If there's something that you're really pining for us to speak about, put it below in the comments, shoot us an email, go to our website and fill out our contact form. Tell us what you want to hear more of, and we will get it on the show for you.